The movie The Martian has been #1 at the box office for like 3 weeks in a row, which is pretty amazing. Even more amazing, I've read the book. I really don't read books as much as I would like to because I'm just too busy. I got a lot of things going on. There's a YouTube channel I run. Have you seen it? But I do read when I go on vacation, and earlier this year I took a trip out to California, and while I was there I bought the book and I read it. This really might be the only book I've ever read before the movie came out. I'm always annoyed by the people who read the books and then go see the movies and then they do the whole, oh, the book was way better, man. But in this case, I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna try really hard to avoid saying that the book was better, but it was definitely different in some ways. Here's a few, but there will be a few spoilers here that's unavoidable. I will try to give you fair warning, though. The biggest difference between the book and the movie is it's just way more science-y in the book. In the movie, he runs across all these problems that he has to solve, and it makes it look very effortless in the movie. It's kind of like, oh, here's a problem. Well, here's a solution. Done. Yeah, it's not like that in the book. There's a part in the movie where he has to figure out how to make oxygen. And he figures it out in like 10 seconds in the movie. But in the book, it goes on for pages and pages and pages on how he figured out how to use rocket fuel and burn it in such a way so that he could have oxygen. It added to the interestingness of the book itself and the story, but it also really added to his character because you really got to see how smart and clever this dude was. I mean, again, in the movie, it's just kind of played off like, well, this is what you do when you need oxygen. But that's not just what you do. He had to really think outside the box to come up with that. Something that the book gets a lot of praise for, in the movie, rightfully so, is that it is really an accurate depiction of technology, current technology, and how it would be applied to the situation on Mars. There's only a couple of instances where they have to rely on some future technology that doesn't exist now, which is a normal trope in sci-fi. And one of those things that I found really fascinating about the book, and wasn't really conveyed as well in the movie, was the time difference. It takes 14 minutes for information to travel from Earth to Mars. That's why Mars rovers are so complex, because they have to have a little bit of AI. They have to be somewhat autonomous because the information that we send to them is not instant. It takes 15 minutes to get there. And that's really played up in the book in terms of the way they have to send messages back and forth between him and Earth. It literally takes 30 minutes. Like, he sends a message and then goes and does other things and then comes back to check later on before he finally gets a message back. It takes 30 minutes for them to get back to him. Now, obviously, in the movie, they can't show him sitting there for 30 minutes. That would be half the movie. So it just kind of shows him sending a message and then it shows them sending it back. And you don't get the feeling of just how alone he is out there and how much he has to just rely on his own wits to get by, and how many disasters can occur before NASA can get back in touch with him. Which is unfortunate, because that really added a lot to the drama of the book. One little thing that was an actual plot point that was missing between the movie and the book was, and this is giving away a little bit, this is a little bit spoilery, is that at the end when he's driving this very long trip to the other ship that he's going to blast off on, there's a big, huge sandstorm. And it's very interesting because he has these solar panels and he's relying on these solar panels to power this vehicle to get to the thing, and he starts losing power because the sand is covering up. And it happens so gradually that he doesn't notice it until it's almost too late, and he has to backtrack and get around. And the people from NASA are watching and they can actually see the dust storm coming, so everybody knows he's in trouble, but he doesn't. There's a whole lot of drama there. It was a really interesting part of the story. Chiwetel Ejiofor's character is named Kapoor. He's supposed to be Indian. Chiwetel Ejiofor is not. Also, Sean Bean's character in the movie was a much, much bigger part in the book. And actually, he was my favorite character. He was the anti-establishment guy. He was always butting heads with the head of NASA. So yeah, seeing that character lessened in the movie was disappointing to me because he really was my favorite character in the book. And finally, I can't tell this one without it being a huge spoiler. So, spoiler alert, if you don't want to find out how this movie ends, then skip ahead right now. I will give you a signal. You'll know it when you see it. Are they gone? So at the end of the book, he takes off in this launcher, and the crew is coming around in the Hermes, their spaceship, and they're supposed to line up their trajectories. They're supposed to line up their trajectories just right, and they're going to go and grab him out of the capsule. So in the book, he says something about, hey, I could puncture my suit and use that as a propulsion device, and I'll be like Iron Man, and it's just kind of used as a joke. And the guy who winds up catching him is one of the crew members. It's not the captain who stays in the captain's chair as a captain would do. But in the movie, they go ahead and do it. They do the whole Iron Man thing where he punctures alters his suit, and then he's flying around, and the captain is like, no, I'm gonna go save him because I'm the captain, and I can see why, for dramatic purposes, they wanted to make the captain like be the hero of the day and all, but it was different from the book. And I did feel when I was watching it, just to be honest, the whole Iron Man thing of him flying around like that, it was just kind of like, yeah, no. Just my 2 cents. Okay, I'm done now. This is the signal. You can come back. It's a t-shirt, and it's true. Anyway, it is a very good book. If you like the movie at all, especially if you like the sciencey parts of it, you would love this because it gets turned up to 11. Anyway, comment time on Answers with Joe. I'll work on it. Last week in my Dark Matter video, Yogesh Apreti said, would it astound you even more to know that I am from Nepal? Conan Skyfire said, salutations from Romania. Jimmy Linder says, you have fans in Brazil too. One Martin Amodio said, also Argentina. Keep up the great work. So this got me started thinking. I was like, how many different countries do my fans represent? So I went and took a look, and it's 77. I have fans in 77 countries. If I sat here and tried to list all the countries that I know of in the world, it probably wouldn't equal 77, and I'm pretty darn good at that kind of stuff. It shouldn't surprise me. I mean, it is the World Wide Web. It's not like it's just here in the States or anything. It's not like I have borders on my videos. But how amazing is that? I can put a video out and people all over the world are watching it. And it's not even an ego thing. It's just what a wonderful time to be alive thing. Maybe that's something I should put in a cubby back here. I should put a globe with all the different countries from the fans that I have on there. Is that humble bragging? I'm honestly just amazed by it. So help me keep track of where everyone is. I really am curious now. Everybody put in the comments where you're from. I just want to know. Also, I talked about The Martian being a book that I read before the movie. What books have you read before the movies, and what were the differences in the books and the movies that you liked or disliked, and which ones were the best, and all that kind of stuff? We can talk about movies and books down below. Okay, everybody, I am calling it a video. I hope you guys have a great week, rest of the week, good weekend, and I want to thank you for watching wherever you are. And I'll catch you next time. Later.